Hey, what's up my people, Albaz Strike 12 here, and today I'm bringing you a ranking of all the Albaz/Despia fusion monsters that are available in the TCG, plus one that was just announced that I'm sure a lot of players are looking forward to be able to use and integrate to the upcoming structure deck, Albaz Strike. A lot of people are very excited about this structure deck, including myself, to the point that it's made the price of some cards like Albaz just completely skyrocket. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and take the time to look at all the fusion monsters, make a tier list, see which ones are going to be the most impactful, and you definitely want to play a couple of those in your deck, and which to consider but that are kind of like middle of the pack. Alright guys, so stick around. If you like my content, go ahead and give me a like, a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Let's get started. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Now the first card I want to talk about is Albaz the Branded Dragon. Now this card says if this card is fusion summoned, you can fusion summon one level 8 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck, except Albaz the Branded Dragon, by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your hand, field, and or graveyard. So this is really cool. You're gonna be able to summon him, and he's already gonna bring somebody with him and be able to put two monsters on the field at once. Now the other one says during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because he was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or set one branded spell slash trap directly from your deck. You can only use each effect of Albaz the Branded Dragon once per turn. Alright, so I think Albaz is going to be A tier card. I think this card is, you're going to see it a lot if you're going to play this deck. And just the fact that it brings another fusion monster with it every single time is just great. I think it's going to be a way to kind of overwhelm your opponent and just get your plays going. Just the fact, I mean, regardless of the effect, just the fact that in one go you can put two monsters on the field, that's great. So we're going to put it in the A category. The next one is going to be Brigand the Glory Dragon. It says, cannot be destroyed by battle while your opponent, while you control this fusion summon card. Your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects. So that's good, a little bit of protection. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because he was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Tri Brigade, which no one's playing, or one Falling of Albaz from your deck. I mean, the protection is cool. And it says, while you control this card, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects. So again, the protection, the battle protection is just there to try to keep it on the field a little bit longer. But I feel like this is too defensive. This is kind of one of those win more cards. So we're gonna go ahead and give Brigand, we're gonna put it in the C category. I think C is fair because it's good, but there's a lot to be desired from this card. Alright guys, the next one we're going to talk about is Albaz the Searing Dragon. Now this card says if this card is fusion summoned, you can discard one card, fusion summon one level 8 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck, except Albaz the Searing Dragon, by shuffling fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among your cards on the field, in your graveyard, or your face-up banished cards. So this is kind of interesting. This is kind of a counterpart to Albaz, because Albaz is going to banish stuff to special summon. This one's going to return things that are in the graveyard or that were banished to special summon. So it's going to be a way to keep the cycle going. So it's kind of like the Albaz is the counterpart to Albaz in a sense. And the other one says from your card in the field in your graveyard, or banish cards, but for the rest of this turn, this card cannot attack. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters, which, I mean, the whole deck is based on fusion monsters. You're gonna be fine. And then the last thing, you can only use this effect of Albaz the Searing Dragon once per turn. So this is cool. I mean, it's gonna work in conjunction with the other card, and it's just gonna be something that's gonna keep you alive a little bit longer. So we're gonna go ahead and put Albaz in the B category because it's good, but it's not great. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about, guys, it is Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. It says, while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent must pay 600 life points to activate cards or effects. So it says cards, so it means everything: traps, spells, monsters, you name it. If your opponent controls a ritual, fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link monster, I mean aka everything in the extra deck, while this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Alright, so this card as a one-off, it's kind of annoying because you have to pay some life points to be able to clear your opponent's board. But if you can get two of these on the field somehow, forget it. This thing can be a no TK on its own. I mean, your opponent is just going to deplete his or her life points trying to get their strategy going. So in one, two, man, that's a lot. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. We're gonna put it in the B tier category because it's very dependent on how many you can get on the field at a given time. The next one will be Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. Now, this card right here says you can only control one Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. Oh man, when a card starts by telling you can only control one of them, it's probably going to be a really good card. Once per turn, quick effect, you can send, so it doesn't target, doesn't destroy, doesn't banish, none of it. It just sends, which is a really good form of removal. One fusion monster that lists Falling of Albaz or as material from your extra deck to the graveyard and banish one monster on the field, so it doesn't target, but this effect cannot be used again next turn, so you can't follow it up the next turn. You can do it during your turn or your opponent's, but then you have to have like a 1 turn gap before you can use it. If this fusion summon card in its owner's control leaves the field by your opponent, you can activate this effect, destroy all monsters your opponent currently controls during the end phase. Wow, so again, destruction without targeting, and it's something that is going to make your opponent think twice before getting rid of this card. And it says if it leaves the field, so if it's destroyed, if it's banished, if it just for whatever reason leaves the field, that you can activate that effect and destroy every monster your opponent controls. So yeah, this is definitely going to be an S rank card. This is crazy. I mean, wow, this is going to be very oppressive because you don't even want to get rid of it. And if you get rid of it, you're going to be punished. So yeah, S card for sure. Now the next one is going to be Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon. During your main phase, you can move this card you control to another of your main monster zones. Then you can destroy all other face-up cards in this card's column. Okay, I mean that's kind of a niche way of getting rid of more than one card. You can even destroy your own cards, by that logic, because it's on that column. So if you have cards that activate when they're destroyed, you can do that with this one. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because you will send this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Spriggans, which again no one's playing, or one Falling of Albaz from your deck. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but no, I think Sprint is going to be more of a B category type of card. So yeah, we're gonna give it a B. The next one I want to talk about, guys, it is Despian Proskinian. I'm sure I did not pronounce that right. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one fusion, Synchro, XYZ, or Link monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, or special summon it to your field. Kind of niche. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack or defense, whichever is higher. I mean, the card itself is not that great, to be honest with you. I don't see a lot of utility for it. The effect is okay, but it's not great. But just the fact that you need 3 monsters to be able to bring this thing onto the field, the best use I can see of that is with something like Super Polymerization. If you play 1 or 2, that might come in handy, especially against like Invoked. But yeah, no, I don't think Proskinian is going to be a good card, so we're going to go ahead and give this card a C. Now, the next one I want to talk about, it is going to be an oldie but a goodie. It is Titanclad the Ash Dragon. Gains attack equal to the combined original levels of the monsters used for its fusion summon times 100. Yeah, I mean, can be useful. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of this turn, it is unaffected by the activated effects of any other monster special summon from the extra deck. That is actually really good. And is more than likely is going to come out as a big boy, so you can probably attack over most things. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because he was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Falling of Albaz or Dogmatica monster from your deck. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. What I like about this card is that it has other uses. You can send it there with Dogmatica Punishment to get a Dogmatica card, the following turn or at the end phase of that turn. So, pros and cons. So we're going to put Titanclad, we're going to put it in the B category. Because again, it's just kind of like, it's good, but it's not that great. And it has some niche applications here and there. The next one I want to talk about, guys, it is Despian Corretis. Despian Corretis says during the main phase quick effect, you can change the attack of all monsters currently on the field to 0 until the end of this turn, except level 8 or higher fusion monsters. So if your opponent has anything like an XYZ monster or anything that is not a level 8 or higher fusion monster, this card can be a good way of removal because he doesn't target and just changes their attacks to 0. And you can just attack over them and get it over with. So that's kind of cool. If this card is face up on the field in its owner's control and leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can add to your hand or special summon one Falling of Albaz or Despia monster from your deck, which, I mean, pretty standard for this archetype. But yeah, I think the disruption effect to put the monsters, to make the monsters' attacks to 0 can be very useful, especially during the during battle phase. You know, they will think twice before just attacking, or they might just skip it altogether because they know you're going to activate that effect if they don't have a response. So we're gonna go ahead and put Correttis in the B category because it's good, but again, it's not something that you want to get on the field right away as soon as you start the duel. And then the last thing I want to go over is the brand new card that this archetype is getting. They are getting Abyssal Dragon Alba Renatus. Cannot be used as fusion material. Okay, so you can't, you know, after it's on the field, you can't use it for something else. Must be either fusion summon or special summon by sending the above cards in either player's monster zone to the graveyard. And it says it's a following up Albaz plus one or more dragon monsters. So wow, against dragon decks, this thing is going to be poison. It's just, I mean, if you go second and you can, you know, you drop something like a super poly, it doesn't matter how many dragons they got, they're all gone. This card can make a number of attacks on monsters each battle phase up to the number of materials used for its summon. Yeah, so if you can get rid of more than one, like 2, even 3, yeah, this is game over. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because you was sent there this turn, you can add 1 polymerization. So again, super poly, you can add it to your hand. Normal spell or 1 fusion normal spell from your deck to your hand. So it's going to allow you to continue to fusion summon the following turn, but remember you cannot use this as a fusion material. So I think this card is good. I think it's actually really good, and the stats are not too bad either. I think just the strength of it is, you know, against a dragon deck, you probably want to run like 1 of it, because against a dragon deck, this is going to be a must. So, you know, well, I mean, Dragon Link is not seeing as much play as before, but if it makes a comeback, this thing right here, that's the antidote right there. All right, so we're going to put Abyssal Dragon Alba Renatus. We're going to put it in the A category because it's kind of a cool card. I mean, it has a lot of utility. I can see it doing a lot of stuff, especially if you can get it with the Buster Blader lock that makes everything a dragon. Forget it. That's game over. All right, guys. So with that out of the way, guys, that is my tier ranking for these Albaz / Despia fusion monsters. It looks like Konami really likes this archetype because it looks like they're gonna get support back to back, and I'm sure this is not gonna be the last card they're gonna get. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you guys think about this ranking, or if you have a different opinion, let me know. I'd love to hear it. All right, guys. So with that out of the way, thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll be catching you in the next one.